Welcome to the 5G Podcast.
We're glad you're here.
We hope you enjoy our conversations about God, guns, games, goals, and gastronomy.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode.
Timer this time so we don't go for 7 hours like we did last week.
I don't know how long it was last week. I don't remember. Ryan said she really liked the episode, though.
Cool. That's at least one
She obviously watches it while she edits it.
Yeah, that's good.
Did you get a new watch?
No, I've just been wearing it more.
Oh, okay. Did you shock?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, no,
We're
I
matching.
went through 2 years of Argentina and back, so it's...
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
My first watch in my mission got destroyed.
Oh, nice.
Like, the band disintegrated.
That sucks.
Yeah. It was a year and a half in.
Dang.
Yeah, about a year and a half.
Oh, yeah.
Then I got a new one.
Right before, and so that's been 6 years.
It's pretty good.
Years, yeah.
I've had this one for also not 6. Let's see. I got it. I think Ryan got it for me our second birthday in Mary.
Okay.
So I've had it for 3 years.
Nice.
3 years.
I'm a fan. Not a sponsor, but G-Shocks are like...
And they're reasonably priced.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like $100.
It can be expensive.
Yeah, they have
compared to
like
watches,
yeah.
But it's like if it's gonna last me at least 3 years. I didn't wear it off in the past like 2 years working like blue collar. It's just like it's a little big, but
Sure.
I have a cushy desk job, so now I've been wearing it more.
What was I gonna say? Oh, when I was originally looking for a new watch, I was like, what do I want? Like I would really love a G-Shock.
Oh yeah.
Right? But I was like looking at them, and then like the first page on the website you land is like these super sick looking ones. They're like a little bit bigger, but they're like $4,000. I'm like, whoa. Like I should just get a Rolex, I guess. Like
At that rate.
but then they have like their more commercial version, which is like I think there's one model cheaper than this,
Oh okay.
and this is like their $100 one or something
Yeah.
like that.
So.
But like it connects to my phone. It has a step counter in it and
Oh,
everything.
really?
So yeah.
Dang. So I guess mine 6 years ago I recall was about $100. This is probably cheaper now. Because
Probably.
it doesn't have any of that integration.
Yeah, it was cool because so it connects to my phone, and then if it's connected to the phone, it automatically updates the time.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So I just like I don't have to like beep 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 beep. I just literally go connect, and it goes me 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 me,
Syncs it up.
and then so it's really nice when like you're traveling or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just like hop on a cell service or whatever, and just
okay. that's
updated watch to whatever the local time is.
Yeah, that's nice.
Did it in Turkey.
For a traveler's watch.
Yeah.
I almost kind of like seeing the like, what hour am I actually in?
Well, no, so I can just not connect it if I wanted to do that, right?
Like,
it doesn't.
How jet lagged am I? Oh, 7
Yeah.
hours. That's right.
Yeah.
It's actually 2 in the morning for me. That's why I'm tired. So, watches are cool.
That was not the topic we were going to start with. Anyway, we
What's your take on smartwatches? That's the first real topic.
ooh, my take on smartwatches.
Yeah. I've never gotten one. Wife's been considering like getting one for me. I don't know.
Ryan has one. I don't think I need one. I don't like using my phone.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't like when my phone is buzzing off the hook.
So why do you want a phone on?
So I don't want a
wrist?
phone on my wrist.
Yeah.
But like that's I understand that this is definitely a me thing.
Sure.
Right? This is not like
I see the convenience. You can just like answer calls, send texts.
well, for you it wouldn't be a big deal, but for me, I would have to see if when I clear the text message off my watch, it also reads it on my phone because I have to read every single message so
Right.
that I don't have the orange bubbles or the unread message
Yeah, the
mark.
orange bubble or the I have 23 unread conversations in that orange bubble right now. Yeah.
Can't do it. Can't do it. I can't do it. I don't know how you do.
It
So for you, it doesn't bother you. So like, if you just like swiped up or whatever on your watch and like
Whatever.
dismissed it, it's like whatever. But for me, like I have to mark every single message marked as read.
Read.
I have to have no unread messages
in your email,
message.
in your text
in my
messages,
email.
Yep.
Yep.
I've
And
been trying to do that with my work email. Actually, I'm starting fresh,
Mm-hmm.
empty email. I can't do it on my personal email. I'm already at like 4,000, so I just
you should literally just go click archive.
probably.
Like you can literally select all, and then it'll select all 50 on that one page,
Oh, but then you can hit select all of them.
and then they'll pop up a message that says you have this many messages. And usually for me, it's like on the social page, it's like you have 100 messages. You probably it's like you have 4,787 messages. or
Would you like to
emails.
archive
Would you
them?
like to archive them all? Yes. You should do that.
Probably.
It's so nice. And then what's nice about it is that you just like any emails that come up, you know that they're important, and you can either read them and archive them, or read them and leave them like there, so it like reminds you.
Okay, that's better.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's some good organizational skills.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
So I just have like my email inbox, and it's like, oh, these are the things that I need to get complete.
Yeah.
And if I've like followed up on something, then I do this on my work email as well. If I've followed up on something, archived.
Archived, done.
And then as soon as if like I see on my spreadsheet that they haven't like gotten back to me on something, I open up and like search their name and like pull up the emails. I'm like, okay, yes, I asked them, okay, hey, just a reminder, like you should get back to me with all this stuff that you need, and then archive.
It's probably better, yeah.
It's very nice. It's very convenient. Anyway,
Yeah.
so my take on smartwatches. I won't ever get one,
Yeah, okay.
but I can see the appeal of them
Yeah, until they get like some cool tech in them where it's like,
until it's like holographic.
yeah,
And I can like Star Wars chat with someone.
yeah, dude,
That'd be pretty dope. Be super.
Sure.
Yeah, if they came up with a watch where I could go like, like shoot a little 22 out of it, I'd buy that.
Just like unlock doors.
Ooh, you know what? If my car keys were in a watch,
Yeah, actually, that
I'd 100. Like you could program like your car keys into your watch,
that'd be cool. That'd be nice.
so you could just like wear your watch and just like access your cars.
Yeah, save you the pocket space.
Yeah. And the convenience of having to like
Remember your keys.
remember the keys. And what if you grab the wrong set of keys?
Yeah.
You know?
Would be nice. That's the future.
Hopefully. Hopefully it's not. Well, I won't go there.
Speaking of the future, no, I don't know.
Um.
Our first real topic.
Yeah, for real. After two unreal topics, I guess. You and I both follow a significant number of Magic content,
Yes.
and my news
Fair to
feed
say.
in the mornings has quite a few articles about Magic the Gathering,
Mhm.
because I enjoy that, and I click on those articles, so the algorithm's like, he like give more.
That's how algorithms work.
Uh-huh. So,
Drinking the same time with the content. They're supposed to stagger that.
I know, that's my bad.
I think I probably subconsciously did it. I don't know.
I've been seeing a lot about a new trading card game, relatively new.
Yeah, I think it officially came out like 2 or 3 weeks.
It's a Disney trading card game. It's Disney Lorcana. Lorcana?
Lord Kana.
Lorcana sounds better.
I've heard it both ways.
Arcana?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. Lorcan. I'm
Lord Kansas.
Lorcana. I'm sticking with Lorcana.
Lord Kana. I agree.
And yeah, anyway, I've seen it and I'm like, this is interesting. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, is there enough? Like, I don't know how. I haven't looked at anything about it. I wanted to ask you if you had, and like what your thoughts and opinions were.
Yes. I have seen some Disney Lord Kana. As far as like gameplay goes, it doesn't look half bad, honestly. Like the similarities to Magic, right? I think objectively I can say Magic is probably one of the best games ever made. I mean, it's been around for 30 years. Everything is like a slight variation from that. Even the big three, like Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, they all have some similarities, but Magic was the first one.
Was Magic before Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah.
And Pokemon. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's there's a lot of similarities to Magic, I see, which is kind of cool. They have as far as deck building, there's different colors,
Oh,
which
interesting.
is like very obviously like Magic, but it's, every deck has to be, to my knowledge, has to be 2 different colors.
Oh,
So
interesting.
that's unlike Magic where you can build as many colors as you want.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have 2 colors.
Can you have more?
I don't think so.
So it's limited to 2 colors.
Limited to 2, and so each color kind of has their own identity. And so like going up against an opponent, when you find out what his 2 colors are after the first couple turns, you realize you're like, oh, okay, I kind of know what his strategy is. Maybe if he's like red, gray, or purple, orange, stuff like that. I don't think they have fancy names. I think it's just purple, orange. I saw like one gameplay video.
Sure.
And so the deck building that seems pretty neat. their resource management is always important in a card game because you look at Magic. Some people like the lands system, the mana. Some people dislike it, where you have to build your deck with your resource. But then you look at a game like Yu-Gi-Oh! That's the polar opposite. They have no resources, and that game is just hog wild. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So their resources is literally your, I don't remember all the specific terms, your mana, that you can get, increase your maximum each turn by discarding a card from your hand.
Oh,
So you start with
interesting.
like 1, but you like on turn 1 you'd have to like, sorry, I think you start with 0. On turn 1 you have to discard a card to get your 1 mana. And next turn your like mana pool will replenish. But you have to like discard 1 each turn if you want to increase the maximum each turn.
And you can only discard one per turn
One
unless
per
there's a card that says.
Right. Which I don't know if there is already.
Well, I'm sure there will be,
I'm
though.
sure there will be eventually. They left their design space pretty
Yeah,
open
for sure.
that, so
That's an interesting system.
their resources, their resource management for a card game, that seems neat. Like you have to give away a card to increase your amount of mana to cast your other cards for the rest of the game. I mean,
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to do any like graveyard stuff with that.
there
though.
is already some.
Oh,
graveyard
really?
stuff,
Okay.
that, at least in one of the colors, had some graveyard stuff. So
Is it the purple color?
it was great. I think they played a Captain Hook, and it let him pull a like a Man the Cannons card back from the graveyard. It's all Disney themes. It's all
That's one of the things I was going to ask. Like
Yeah.
when I was looking at it, I was like, okay, like Magic the Gathering has what 30,000 different unique cards or more,
at least, yeah.
like a huge number of cards,
Mhm.
huge number of cards. I can't think of more than 100 Disney characters that like.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there are, and like you could have a different like Magic has different versions of like
Of the
Born
same.
collects the whatever,
Yes.
Born collects this guy,
And that they do have
or
that
Jace
already.
this one, and he's whatever.
Obviously, they've got Elsa and then like Super Elsa or whatever. Yeah.
Like Elsa, Princess of the North, Elsa, Ice Queen of the North,
Uh huh.
whatever.
Well, and as part of the mechanics, actually, when you get the same character that's like an upgraded version, you actually just like stack them on top of the existing character on your board.
Interesting. And does it buff them both?
Yeah, usually it costs less mana to stack
Oh,
them on top.
interesting.
So if you already have the Elsa, you can play the Super.
So it's kind of like a built-in Voltron system.
Yeah, and then it also gives them like pseudo haste. If you know Magic, you can slap
Oh,
it on and then like attack right away.
really?
Yeah.
And so they have summoning sickness in
Yeah,
it?
every card is summoning sickness, and it's like a G-rated game. You don't attack your opponent. You just turn your card sideways, and then it generates points, victory points, and it's the first to 20 victory points win. So you're not attacking your opponent. I think you're questing is what they call it. You're sending your creature on a quest, and it generates victory points for you.
And can your opponent block your quests?
They can't, but when your creature is tapped, they can attack your creature. Otherwise, they can't attack your creature.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's like if you send your creature on a quest, it's the opposite of Magic. Is
Yeah.
that sending your creature on a quest is dangerous because then now your opponent can kill them.
Interesting.
Unless the card says otherwise, and it just like lets you blow up a card. But yeah, so every
Huh.
card does have a health and an attack value. Every creature.
A questing value and a...
Yes, they also have a quest value, which is separate.
Oh,
And then
interesting.
the attack and the defense. They're attacking that.
Oh, so the attack defense is for creatures attacking it.
Uh-huh.
How much damage is going to do to that creature. And then their questing value is how much
How much
Points
victory
they're-
points they give
they're
when
going to
tap
give
them.
you. Interesting.
Yeah, so anything that's worth more than one victory point is very valuable.
Yeah,
a lot of
for
them
sure.
are just one.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And how much mana do these normally cost?
I've seen kind of like Magic. They got a pretty good spread, but also like you can pretty reliably get like one more mana each turn. Sometimes in Magic that doesn't always happen. You stay
Well, you
like
can
3 or
basically
4.
always get one more mana each turn if you have cards still.
Hopefully for the first 4 or 5 turns, depending on the format, depending on the deck. But
Do they have what are their draw rules? Just draw one card each
yeah,
turn.
one per turn. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see something where it's like you draw up to your hand size each turn.
Yeah.
Maybe you reduce the hand size to 5 or something like that.
I've already seen one of the cards that look pretty strong is a wheel effect in Magic, where both players discard their hand and then draw 7. And that was Wheel of Misfortune, or no, Wheel of Fortune. It's one of the OG alpha cards. It's like $400 because it's really powerful.
Yeah.
2 mana, and both players check their hand and draw 7 more.
2 mana.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really good if you have a small hand and they have a really big hand.
They have a good hand. Yep.
Like is it an instant?
Yeah, I think so.
That's,
it might be a sorcery.
like,
but...
can you imagine if like someone just like was like, I draw 17 cards, and you're like, no, you
Actually, just
don't.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So it's like I see that effect. I'm like, oh yeah, card draw in this game is really good because
Yeah.
you keep discarding things. You got to keep your resources high.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
it seemed all right. I don't know if I've ever played in person, but
they have an online version as well.
yeah, I think it's technically fan made. I don't think it's an official.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's you get access to every card in that online digital.
Oh,
box.
interesting.
Yeah. So there's no microtransactions.
Interesting. I would be interested to like, I don't know, like, do they have like precons already for it or anything like that?
I imagine so. I believe I've seen like a starter box that I think was like a 1v1. Like
It'd be kind of fun.
2 decks.
It'd be kind of fun to get. I mean, depending on the price, right? Like if it's like the same. If it's like the same price as a Magic deck, I'm not gonna spend that money on it. But if it's like $10 a deck or something like that, I
or
would.
getting $20 for like a little starter kit. For
Yeah,
you and
exactly.
a buddy.
Exactly.
It seems pretty fun.
Like it, and I think it'd be something that like the women folk in our
Yeah.
lives might be more into than like Magic. I feel like it's definitely like having a Disney themed trading card game is definitely so I think Wizards of the Coast should just be like throwing money at Disney right now
Yeah.
because Disney is creating this trading card game that is going to be effectively a gateway drug into Magic.
Yeah.
Like
Really,
100%.
I don't know if they're marketing to children, but let's be honest, they're probably marketing to children. It's Disney.
Yeah, if your creatures don't attack the enemy,
Yeah.
they go on quests.
They go on quests.
That is actually a cool mechanic, though.
It is cool.
It's not like a cop out, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not.
Like it's actually like a cool, different mechanic. And
Cheesy G-rated. I mean, your creatures can still attack. You're just not killing your opponent.
yeah, you just won the quest or whatever it
Yeah.
is. Which is, like I said, they succeeded on two fronts there. They made it G-rated as well as like it's kind of a cool mechanic.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I think that it's just going to be a gateway drug into Magic the Gathering
into other
or
card games.
or Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
But I think more Magic the Gathering because of the economy system
Sure.
or paying the resource system.
The resource system, the deck building. Like
Yeah.
Pokemon, to an extent, you could say has deck building restrictions. Obviously, there's energy.
Sure. I'm gonna be honest. I've never understood Pokemon and how to play.
No, nobody has.
Well,
that's the secret, actually.
That's fair. I think the only reason Pokemon is popular is because of the video games.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's.
It's like millennials growing up now have their kids, and they're like getting their kids into like
Yeah.
Pokemon. Like, oh, look, cute monsters. So,
Yeah. I think they should release a new Pokemon on the Switch.
Yeah. I think they're.
They probably are planning on it. But
Yeah, I think they've thrown little teasers out, or maybe a new TV show is actually what they've thrown the teasers out for. I don't know about a new game if they've spoiled that yet. But
I mean, I feel like they should.
they do it pretty clockwork every 3 years, so
Oh, okay.
we'll probably see one in a year and a half.
That's
like
fair.
that.
That's fair. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah,
Seems cool.
yeah. I might look into like I was saying, getting the my wife into it because like
Buy a little starter kit.
buy a little Star Kit might be fun.
It probably has the rules in there and everything. I have to imagine.
I mean, surely
it's a
it
brand new
does.
game, so
Surely it does.
yeah.
I mean, but you know, if I could get my wife into Magic, kind of dope. Date night would just be
Like that.
strip Magic.
Oh,
How does that work? The more life you take, the more you have to take off. I don't know.
yeah. We've been playing. I know I've told you this before. For date night, my wife and I are doing Baldur's Gate
Yeah.
together. Have our co-op campaign. That's pretty fun. We just like went on a murder spree yesterday.
You guys are playing an evil this round, too,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
It was wife's decision, not mine. And but it's been fun. Our single player games are our good campaigns where we
Sure.
can really role play our character and
Sure.
feel like I'm
Yeah.
putting myself into the game.
You're saying you don't want to rape and pillage the The goblin
Yeah,
forest.
so when we're evil, I don't associate with my evil wizard who just searches for any sort of power he can get his hands on, and money, and yeah, no, that's not like me at all. Of course not. And my wife turns into a giant owlbear and just stomps everybody. Yeah, there's no.
So do you cast enlarge on her to do that thing that you were telling us about?
No, I probably should. I don't actually have that spell. That's a good idea. Yeah.
You should tell the people.
Yeah, they figured out the highest damage you can do in Baldur's Gate, the biggest single damage attack, and it's like the game only goes up to level 12, and we're talking enemies at level 12 with like I don't know 100 something health, give or take. Maybe you get up to like 150.
Sure.
To give you an idea, so I don't know. A normal attack at that range is like 20 to 30 damage.
Sure.
Pretty good attack. Some spells do more damage, but spells are OP. So the biggest single target damage you can do is you have a druid who shapeshifts into animals. That's their thing. You can shapeshift into an owlbear, which is a half owl, half bear, and it's big. In D&D, it's ginormous. Way bigger than the average bear, I think. And so the owlbear has this move. It's called like crushing leap or whatever, where he jumps. And there's normal jumping mechanics in the game, but the owlbear is special because when he lands, he does a big shockwave and knocks up everybody around him. It does a decent amount of damage, and he doesn't take fall damage.
How much damage are we talking like on the normal one? Like
on the
15,
normal,
20?
yeah, like 10 to 15 probably.
Okay. So not like crazy.
Yeah.
It's like tank damage.
Right. It's like
Not...
I'm on this side of the battlefield and I just like jump and do a little shockwave. It's cool.
Sure.
But now it's like the point is to get into combat. Now everybody's around you.
Yeah.
You can take all the hits like a tank. But they found the way you can do the most damage in the game is you have your druid turn into an owlbear, and then your wizard or whoever casts enlarge, so it like doubles the size of your owlbear, which already looks ridiculous on screen. And then the amount of cheese to do this is ridiculous, but you actually, if you want to go full cheese, you build a tower of boxes to get as high as you can. You reach like the height limit of the game, which is absurd. Like nobody would normally be doing that because it's like just a pile of boxes that like ascend forever. But then your owlbear jumps up and gets on top of that, and then they jump, and it deals like 4,000 damage or something ridiculous like that.
It's like 40 times like the max health of most enemies at the highest level.
Yeah, you one shot anything in the game. That's the way to deal the most damage in the game. Is a giant owlbear just descending from the heavens.
I mean, like, I feel bad for game developers sometimes because, like,
because players do random crap like that.
Yeah, it's like, and like if you're like playtesting a game that you are helping create, right? You're gonna play the game.
Yeah.
And then, like, you might even try to break it while you're playing it, but you're not gonna like. I mean, you might
be more excited, just like, yeah, the game works. Like,
yeah,
cool.
Like no bugs, none of this stuff. Like, and then like players do these random things in this random combination, and all of a sudden they do 7,000 damage, 4,000 damage.
What? Why did you guys even think about that?
Yeah, it's got like there's a bunch of games that do that. So it's like Minecraft has this problem because everyone's like, oh yeah. All you need to do to make infinite whatever is just throw a bunch of boats on the ground. And then the game just freaks out. And like if you just like throw a diamond pickaxe into like a pile of 7,000 boats, you now have 7,000 diamond pickaxes.
Why does that work?
I don't know if that's like actually one, but it's like something that would be.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Or just the redstone, like building computers and stuff like that.
Have you seen that there's a guy.
Is there a new development or
there's a guy who made a computer in Minecraft that can play Minecraft.
No, I had not heard that. I heard it was doing like basic like coding and whatnot. It was the last I heard, but
nope. He plays Minecraft in Minecraft.
Minecraft is like 64-bit, and he made a 64-bit
computer.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's
with like a high refresh rate, Playable. It's like playable. Like, it's crazy.
That is ridiculous.
It's a little bit pixelated.
Yeah,
because his screen has to be like, he uses like redstone lamps as like the screen, so it's not in color. Yeah, it's black and white more or less, but like, it works.
He uses redstone lamps as his display.
It's like it's a massive massive system. If I remember, we'll put like a picture of like the whole system up on the screen or something like that. But it's like he did it in creative as well, obviously.
Sure, no, yeah.
And like in one of like the flat worlds or whatever.
Yeah, because at that point you're just showing off, like you're not trying to.
Yeah, but like he made a complete computer in Minecraft that runs Minecraft.
That's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I've seen some wild things in that game, but that's like functionally that's pretty cool. There's a lot of like cool looking things in Minecraft.
There's also a server that is free to use.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've heard about this. It's
the real world in Minecraft.
No, there's that one.
Gotcha.
But there's one that I don't remember what they call it. They call it like the library or something like that.
I've heard of this. Yes, go on.
But some group of people, I'm surely they've like written a script to do this.
Yeah, I think so.
So like, but they've taken every single book in existence and copied it into Minecraft.
Uh-huh.
And there's a library where you can go and read any book ever written.
Yeah, I heard they got into troubles with like China and North Korea.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because
people in North Korea were logging on to go read banned books in
yeah,
the country.
or in China or Russia or whoever is banning books.
Yeah.
Like you can read every single book in existence.
Yeah.
On that server.
And it's free, it's open source.
It's free, open,
Anybody
everything.
can log in, yeah.
I think you can't edit the books unless you're like a member or like one of their editors or whatever.
Sure. They have
But
people running it as like a charity.
Yeah. But like and like I said, surely they've written a script that just like scrubs the data from one book and puts it into
like they call me Ahab.
Yeah.
In Minecraft.
Yeah, for real. Like there has to be a script. If not, then that's impressive.
It's good for them.
It's like I have always been very impressed by like video game communities and like their ability to get crap done.
Oh yeah.
And like figure stuff out like that. Did you know? This is our new topic for the day, I guess.
Sweet.
So there's this game that I enjoy playing called War Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
And War Thunder is a I don't know what you can call it, a simulation game? Combat sim of aircraft, naval vessels, tanks, submarines, the helicopters, all this stuff, right? And they try to be as accurate as possible to every plane or vehicle or boat or whatever that they are putting into the game. And they do updates regularly. Well, there's been a very big problem, and it is a big problem, with the subreddit for War Thunder.
Okay.
Because, like, just this week was, like, the 20th time that classified documents on modern fighter jets have been leaked to the subreddit.
What?
As, like, hey, developers, here's this. And the developer's like, please stop doing this.
Legally not allowed to. Holy
but it's happened with U.S. jets, it's happened with Russian jets, it's happened with, like, a bunch of different planes from all over the world.
Them, like, anonymously on Reddit, like, hey, can you put this jet in the game? Here's all the specs.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
I work for the Department of Defense. It's like, oh.
Well, I think last time it happened, it was like an F-16.
Oh, jeez, like the missing F-16.
F-35.
No, F-35.
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious, but yeah.
We should move on to that because that is just absolutely hilarious.
It was a good segue, yeah.
That was a good segue.
Plane related. I forgot that happened this week.
Me too.
When I was like, current events, nothing exciting happened this week.
No,
but there's conspiracy theories.
It's hilarious.
This is turning into the conspiracy podcast.
It's hilarious, man.
Why did the plane get shot down and then continue for 60 miles?
It didn't get shot down.
It got shot at?
No. So
that's my because he I don't remember the whole thing. It's all just goofy.
There's an F-35 that was flying around.
It disappeared.
Well, kind of. The pilot was flying it, whatever, and there was some malfunctions or whatever.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And so they were like, "Hey, bud, you should just ditch the plane."
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll do that." And so he was getting ready. He activated the autopilot because if you're like about to pull your chute, you don't want to just like let go of the control sticks, right?
Autopilot.
So he goes ding, and he goes and ejects from the plane.
Gotcha.
And the plane doesn't recognize that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And just like land itself. The plane's like, I'm on autopilot.
Autopilot. So that's what I thought. It continued for like 60 miles after he ejected.
Oh no! It they lost it.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a stealth fighter.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
How do you lose a $16 million jet or whatever it is? $16 billion jet?
yeah, they're like
Trillion.
800 million a pop or something like
800
that.
million, okay.
Something stupid. I don't remember if it was actually 800 million, but it's something really stupid like that.
How do you lose that? Like what?
I
I get it's a stealth fighter, but it should be on your system somehow. Like,
don't know.
not radar or sonar, surely, but
I have no clue.
Yeah.
But yeah, they lost the plane.
that's
And they literally, the Air Force Base that it was attached to released a statement saying, hey, we lost a plane. If you find it,
If you find this plane, could you please return it?
yeah, don't look at it.
Don't look. This is a PSA to the entire eastern seaboard. It could be anywhere. We don't know.
No, it literally could have been because it still had like half of its fuel tank or some junk like that.
We've calculated the radius, and it's all of America. So everybody, just take a look outside.
Yeah, I think it's so funny.
Yeah,
I think it's so funny.
it's pretty goofy.
I think Lockheed should be like, well, I guess we're gonna put like an auto land feature in.
Yes, it's like detects that there's no
because they have VTOL,
Yeah, yeah.
right? They have vertical takeoff and landing. At least 2 of the 3 models do.
Mhm.
The Air Force version, the Navy version does, and the Marine version does.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I don't remember. I think the Air Force version doesn't because it has a higher payload or a larger fuel tank
Large
capacity.
fuel tank, yeah. Which again, they probably need to. They're always taking off from land generally.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, just put in an auto safety,
Just like-
safety feature.
yeah.
right?
Or like, hey, parachute was pulled. Let's just nosedive.
Yeah, yeah. If you want a self-destruct button as well, if you're in enemy territory,
Yeah.
you don't want it landing safely.
True.
So unless you're in Afghanistan, then they're allowed.
But
to have it.
I don't know why they didn't have like that feature in there anyway because they
Yeah.
have they're developing a system that's a flying wingman system
Oh, okay, yeah.
that the pilot in the main fighter jet controls 1, 2, 3, however many wingman drones that are also fighter jets,
Can then
basically,
eject
right?
or whatever, yeah.
Well, they can launch missiles, and it's just basically a way for one fighter jet to become a bomber, effectively.
Yeah.
Right?
You're playing a video game.
You really are.
As we've said before.
You really are.
The military is becoming just a video game.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was so funny, and there was a bunch of memes online about it.
All the memes. Well, because it was interesting that like when it crashed, they have some footage that's like grainy like satellite footage or whatever. Dude, it looks like it's like X-Files or whatever. These like government vehicles are rolling out. And they're like cordoning off the area.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You're like, what?
There was this might be a little bit too political. There's a very infamous speech given by the current president of the United States,
Former vice president.
former vice president. Yeah.
Respect the office. Sorry.
Wait, doesn't that supersede like? Anyway, and it's funny because in one of the speeches he gave about gun control, he was like, do you think that, or you would need F-16s to fight against the U.S. government in like a tyrannical state or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And so everyone's now memeing that with like, but we have this, and it's a picture of the F-35 that was was gone, and so everyone's like, do we now? Well, thank you for giving the populace one of the F-35s that you just
funny.
paid $1 billion for. It's very hilarious.
Oh, one of my favorite conspiracies I saw was that like, because it landed in Kentucky or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know,
somewhere over there.
Tennessee, something like that.
Carolinas, maybe.
Yeah.
Something.
And so this theory I saw was that like, well, the autopilot worked fine, but it was people thought it was a UFO, so they shot it down. And I was like, you think small arms fire can take down a jet?
Also,
Already debunked your conspiracy. Like,
it's flying
yeah,
fast. So you have time
I'm gonna get my AR-15.
I'm going to go run inside, grab my AR, figure out where it is again because it's already moved from there to there, and shoot at it. Oh, and by the way, it's still moving away from me at...
Track your bullets with the jet speed. You gotta do a quick physics problem in your head. And
Yeah, if the jet is moving at 450 miles per hour, and bullets travel from an AR-15 at 2,000 feet per second from the muzzle.
But you gotta.
And gravity exists, and humidity exists, and
friction.
wind, and friction, and oh yeah, you're not aiming correctly, and what is the trajectory of what is like your position versus the trajectory of the vector of the plane, like
rotation of the planet, if you believe in that.
Well, I think they still say it. It says it rotates.
Oh,
right?
okay.
No, they don't. It's the sun that moves above
sun
it.
that moves,
Yeah,
yeah.
the lamp just
'Cause we're just
swings.
a flat plane.
The lamp just swings. Like, like, I don't know.
Yeah, interesting.
I sent you that other one that I got the other
Yeah,
day.
that was pretty good.
Dude, they're so funny.
Yeah.
Flat Earth TikTok is just the best. It's so funny.
Steve
I just got a new
Peek into it.
I just got a new one. This is a fun conspiracy theory. It's how do I even explain it? It's so strange. It's so strange. The theory is that the government is lying to us about the date,
Oh, okay.
about
okay.
what year it is.
See, that's interesting because, like, I mean, it's not the government. Humans already have agreed upon a date system, and it only works because everybody believes in it. Like, you can use any time calculation method you want, but there's
Like the
just
Chinese,
one-
they don't use the Gregorian, or no,
calendar.
it's the Jesuit calendar.
Oh, okay,
The
okay.
Jesuits, who I think are actually still technically Gregorians.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a Catholic calendar, a
Yeah.
Christian calendar.
It's like use a different calendar if you want, but this is just the one that humans collectively decided on. So sure, whatever. The government's lying to us about the date.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But they say that it's actually we're actually what is it 1,000 years
Behind or ahead?
behind ahead.
We're 1,000 years.
So we're not actually. It's not actually the year. No, it's not. Is it 1,000? No, it's something like 700.
Okay. 1,000 would be too like.
Yeah, no, it's 600 because the theory is that like everywhere where it says 1776, the first 7 is actually a 1.
No way.
Yeah, it's like yeah, but what about like 1876?
Yeah. What about people?
Is that supposed to be a 2? I don't think an 8 and a 2 look anything similar. Like, I mean, there's a curve on the top, I guess. Or like,
What?
it's so dumb. And they're like, this is the
You've been lied to.
we've been lied to, and it's like, so what?
You've been indoctrinated.
Like, if flat Earth, like, this is my like, if flat Earth is like a true conspiracy, like if the Earth were actually flat, that would like change a lot of things.
Sure. Yeah.
Like that would like flip a lot of things that we know in the world on the,
Changes a lot of physics.
yeah. If the date is different, that changes literally absolutely nothing.
Literally nothing.
Because guess what? No one cares.
Yeah.
Because we don't care about what century we're in.
No, that's irrelevant. We only use it as a method to compare.
We use it as a method to track things that have happened.
Exactly.
We say, oh, this happened on this day.
It's just helpful for history.
It's just a number. It's like we could just call it like 17,747 if we wanted to.
Yeah. Oh, we're actually in the year. We started counting our calendar from the birth of the Earth, so we're at 4 billion or whatever.
Exactly.
By the Big Bang Theory. Like, no, that's just it doesn't matter.
It's so dumb.
Say, I'm gonna start right now, year 1.
Well, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe we should just have a 2,000 year calendar. And like in the year 2000, we should have just started it over.
Reset, yeah.
It's like, okay.
Because it's hard to count above that. Like, it's irrelevant.
I just think it's hilarious. And there's like people like proving it and like all this stuff. I'm like, does it like
Well, Steven, we're actually in the year 2,600 whatever. Whoa.
no, we're in 1200 now.
Oh, we're in
No,
1200.
1400 now.
14. Whoa.
Yeah.
This is yeah.
It just does not matter at all.
Yeah. I think we have
Debunked that one.
debunked that. Yeah.
Or also, we don't need to debunk it because it's just pointless.
It's just yeah.
It's
a
just
dead,
pointless.
It's a dead horse.
Just pointless. There's so many other real conspiracies. That's kind of an oxymoron.
True conspiracy.
But a conspiracy to, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
There's so many other things that like people should worry about than if the date is wrong on the count. It's like setting your phone to the wrong time. It's like if your phone is off by 5 minutes, do you really care?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, not really.
No.
It's like
traveling across the like international date line. You're like time traveling. Whoa. Like, who cares?
Congrats.
Yeah. Onto a lighter topic. Tell me some more about Death Note and what you're feeling. Steven is in.
So I'm hooked on this one.
Yeah.
I'm hooked on this one. I don't feel like I have a ton of time to watch TV.
Sure.
But when I am watching TV, it's Death Note right now.
Cool.
I haven't watched any other show besides Death Note.
20-minute episodes. It's pretty good.
It's super nice. And the only bummer is that I can't do anything else while I watch it.
Yeah.
Because I have to read.
You have to read Japanese.
I can't just listen to it. So it's kind of a bummer there.
Yeah,
but
it is tough.
I just got to the episode, and this shouldn't be spoilers, and if it is,
Again.
you should watch the show. And
Pause right here. Just watch Death Note. It's great.
it's fantastic.
We talked about it. I think this is 3 of us talking about it.
3 or
so
4, yeah.
If we haven't convinced you yet, it's a great show.
I mean, and
Even
this
if
is,
you don't like anime.
and I have not ever liked an anime before, except for American animes.
And Death Note is good.
And Death Note is freaking awesome. And I just got to the part, I think it's episode 8, 9,
8 or 9, somewhere in there.
where the main protagonist. No, sorry. He's technically the antagonist.
The antagonist, because we follow the bad guy.
Yeah.
So that he is our protagonist.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The antagonist, who's actually the good guy, reveals himself to our main character,
Yes.
who is trying to kill the antagonist.
Yeah, the good guy is trying to catch the bad guy. Bad guy's trying to kill him. And he's just like...
And they're both geniuses.
Yeah.
Like the main character scored a perfect score on the entrance exam to this whatever called the highest college in all the land, and whatever. And this guy also took that same test and did it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been super
good.
sick.
It's
And then I thought so.
Did you watch an episode or 2 after that?
I don't remember.
I was gonna say, because that's when it starts getting really interesting too. Because then, like, so far we've just been following the protagonist, and you get insights and everything he's doing. But now you actually start to see some of the good guy's plans.
So
coming out.
There was one moment of that already.
Yeah, you get insight into what he's thinking and his theories to catch the killer.
What I thought was interesting was Ray Pember.
Yes.
Ray Pemba.
Ray Pemba.
Is was one of the side characters, main-ish characters, a plot character.
Yeah.
And then his girlfriend / fiance was also a main character.
Yeah.
And they were bringing her in, she's like supposed to be this bad FBI detective chick who's like, fiance just got murdered by Kira,
the killer.
Yeah. And so she's trying to find him and whatnot, blah, 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 blah. And so I was like, oh, she's going to be like a third party who's going to like really screw up both of their plans.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I thought she was going to be like the wrench in the cogs type thing for both of them, right? And kind of like add some mischief into the story.
Yeah.
But no. She just gets murked.
Uh-huh.
Like right off she's like, I'm gonna do this, and like 2 episodes later she just is gone.
She put up a good fight for 2
she did
episodes.
She did. And even like that one, I think it was just like one episode where it was just literally them walking around.
Yeah.
And like he was like trying to figure out her real name and stuff like that because she gave him a pseudonym. And she was like, oh, but actually he was like, oh, that's not her real name, that must be a fake name.
Yeah, because he already tried to kill her.
He tried to kill her on the little piece of Death Note that he had. And then and then like she's like they were talking or whatever, and he's like, oh, I'm part of the task force, da, 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 da.
Yeah, joy.
Little Power Rangers moment in my opinion. It was a little bit cheesy.
Yeah, totally.
But it not horrendously so. And then she's like, oh my gosh, here's my real name. And he's like, oh, that's perfect, let me write that down real quick. I'll recommend you to like join our task force. And he writes it down, and like he had already pre-planned like how to have
timing
and
kill herself.
And so she was like, why are you looking at your watch? So he like writes her name down, and so it's like he like keeps looking at his watch, and she's like, why are you looking at your watch? And then like right when the time goes, he's like, oh, this? It's because I am Kira.
Yeah.
And she goes, and then walks off and kills herself.
Yeah, because the Death Note
Told her to do that,
made her do it.
which is quite fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
It was a good episode. That
It was cool. Like the music hypes it all up.
Yeah.
Like, anytime he does something evil, you get the like the choir in the background.
It's like Halo music.
Yeah, it is.
Like the Gregorian like Gothic chants or
Yes.
whatever. It's great.
I enjoy the show because it's so like smart.
Yeah.
The thought patterns of both of the main characters, so interesting. Their thought battles are like, yeah, even her for a couple episodes, like she put up a good fight, but it's like our protagonist is like genius, and he's mad at the power. So
True. That's one of the reasons that I really like one of my I think my favorite TV show ever is Peaky Blinders.
yeah, I still haven't seen that one, man. I got.
It's also
find a Netflix subscription.
it's also very cerebral,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Where it's like you have the main character's plans and you're like, and they don't tell you his plans, right? They tell
Yeah.
you the goal of the plans,
That's cool.
and then the episodes in season are set up in a way where it's like,
It plays out.
well, it's like, oh, all this stuff is happening, and you're like, how is this gonna work out?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like, this guy just looks like he's about to get shafted. Like, what the freak? And then they obviously, pull it off or whatever.
Yeah, he planned.
And there's like, always like some like, there's the big reveal where it's like,
and then it flashbacks to like
where it flashes, it shows you like, oh, when this was happening, actually this was what was happening.
here's what's
that
going on
type of
behind
stuff.
the scenes.
Yeah. It was
That's
really
cool.
cool. It was really cool. Like there was one, well, I can't spoil it if you're going to watch that show.
Man, I probably will get around.
Someone died.
Someday, so.
They didn't actually die.
Nice. That's always a good twist.
It was actually, yeah.
I'll be expecting that now when I watch the show. Anytime someone like gets
Well,
shot,
there's a lot of people that die in the show, so
oh, I'm like, he's not dead. He's fine.
most of the time they die. I'll be honest. There's a lot of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
There's a lot of killing, just like Game of Thrones.
Just people die.
A lot of main characters get offed.
Dang, yeah. That's
Not the main character.
okay. So it doesn't pull
Not
that
yet.
twist from Game of Thrones. Spoilers.
No, I wouldn't say she was the main character. She was the
No, Sean Bean in book 1 or season 1 is definitely portrayed as the main character, more so in the books. But
who?
Stark, Sean Bean is the actor who
Oh,
always gets killed in every role he plays.
well, yeah.
Yeah, because he's born.
He was. Oh, yeah. He
Ned
was.
Stark for season 1.
He was kind of portrayed as the main character.
Yeah.
You're right.
He's got his family.
Yeah, you're right. He was kind of portrayed as the main character.
I've heard. I haven't read the book 1, but I've heard that's a bit more obvious in the books. Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't have considered him in season 1 the main character. I would in season 1 of the TV show.
Mhm.
I would consider Daenerys the main character
oh, okay. That's kind of
in season 1.
It's season 1.
But then after season 1, 2, and 3, I would probably say that after season 3, Jon Snow becomes the main character,
Yeah, definitely.
and then throughout the rest of throughout the entirety of the until the last
2 seasons, Daenerys kind of comes back. But
well no, but I still don't think she's the main character. I think
Oh, really?
I mean she's the main plot driver of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
story, but I still think Jon Snow is the main character.
yeah, I'd say
I mean he leads the defense of Winterfell.
his story was also interesting in my opinion.
Oh, for sure,
So
for sure.
maybe,
Him being a
maybe
Targaryen,
I relate to that. So
that was kind of cool.
that was pretty.
That he was a Targaryen.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
what were we talking about?
no, we finished that topic. Death Note. It's good.
Oh yeah, Death Note,
watch.
freaking great.
Good
So I'm gonna keep watching it
Nice.
until I finish it.
Shall I? We'll probably end up talking about that some more then.
Probably.
As you get to season 2, I would be intrigued to hear your thoughts on that. The dynamic shifts a little
I
bit.
still have like 15 episodes of season 1 because I think
Yeah.
it's 23
I
episodes.
think 23 each or something. It's only 40 something episodes total. So
Yeah.
shall I talk about Payday 3 released this week?
Yeah. So give us some background, I suppose.
Yeah.
You've played Payday for decades.
Decades. I think the game's only been out a decade, maybe. Payday 2, I never played the first one. And I didn't play Payday 2 right when it came out, to be fair. So that'll come into play later. Because trying to compare Payday 3 to Payday 2 just like, maybe doesn't work on that comparison. Payday 2 was a fantastic game. It was unique. There was nothing like it. It's a shooter game, but it's like your bank robbers, your criminals. And so instead of just Call of Duty, like, pew pew, I just shoot a bunch of people, yay. And then all these like modern action games are all like, oh, high paced. You gotta have slides, you gotta have explosions, whatever, parkour. Payday 2 is from a slightly simpler time, but they weren't trying to be Call of Duty. They were a heist movie put into a game through and through.
Yeah.
And so every like mission, you're loading up with your buddies. You have the pre-planning. Where you're looking at a map of the mission. You can draw on it like you're criminals on a whiteboard or whatever. You're like, yeah, so we're gonna come in through this side door, and we gotta get to the security room, and you're gonna come in over here and break open the glass, whatever. Like you're planning, and then you play the mission. You can also like buy assets to help you out in the mission. Like it was crucial. That was an essential part of the game. Outside of the game, all the like pre-planning, I guess you could call it. It was an RPG, so it's like you had skill trees, you had guns with customizations. You could do different builds of like, maybe I just want to do melee weapons or guns and boop-a-doo. There was tons to do. The game had been out for probably almost a decade, so they had a ton of content. They were constantly releasing new maps and new weapons to the point where like the base game I think was only like $10, but you could buy it for like $5 on sale. And then like on sale all the DLC would be like $1, and you could just like pick. You're like, oh, I want to buy the flamethrower pack for like $1. I could use the flamethrower game. Or one of the ones I bought randomly was like, oh, I want the cowboy pack. Give me like a revolver and then like a bow and a lever action. I was like, yeah, I want those guns. That seems fun. You buy the missions. You're like, yeah, let's go do the train heist mission.
That one's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's difficult.
It is pretty tough. So those were the content that they had released for years was amazing. It was fantastic. I haven't actually played Payday 2 in a while, but it's one I always ended up going back to.
It's a great LAN party game too.
It really is, yeah. You and 3 buddies just like robbing banks together. Classic. It's great. It's a great game. This is probably the longest stretch where I haven't actually picked it up in a while because I heard Payday 3 was coming out, so I was like, yeah.
Sure.
And you would expect, like, the game was so full, there was so much content. You would expect Payday 3 is just like copy and paste. Like, update the graphics, update the guns, add some new mechanics, maybe some new enemy types would be cool, new missions, obviously.
But like the bones of the game were...
They worked. It was good.
Yeah.
It was really good. And Payday 3 came out this week.
Add some new guns and weapons and like fun weapons to the update.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't.
No, that's fine. Which would probably be hard to do. Payday 2 already had like
everything.
Yeah. Payday 3 came out and it is less than stellar. I don't even know where to begin. I haven't played it myself because it's $60. No, $40. I lied. Sorry. I was thinking of a game that came out that I was maybe interested in.
What's that one?
Lies of P. It's another Dark Souls spin-off, but it's probably one of the best ones that's not actually from FromSoft. It's from some Korean company. Anyway, I was like, $60. Topic for another day, probably. I don't think that was as popular as Payday 3 and kind of the hate it's been getting. There's a lot of issues with the game.
Who makes Payday? Is it Valve?
No, it's some small like Swedish company.
Oh, okay.
Where there's like this is their only game. They thought they were gonna go under. Then I believe a different publisher picked them up, so they finished Payday 3. They thought they were like announced, oh hey, Payday 2 we're done. I think they hit 10 years. And they're like, we're out, going bankrupt or something. But then some angel investor or whatever swooped in. So this is their only game. You would assume like trying to compare to other small game developers like Baldur's Gate 3, it's like this is their one game. It's a huge labor of love. It's going to be an amazing game. It might be amazing eventually, but Payday 3 right now is just rough. It's rough around the edges, and they've changed so much. Where you're like, why didn't you just copy paste? Some of the biggest issues. I'll stop pontificating on all the exposition. It's always online. So if you want to go play a solo game, you have to hop in a matchmaking queue and wait for the servers to allow you a solo game. And then you can lag during your solo game. Or if if it crashes or anything, like there's too many people playing on the server, your solo game lags. It's weird.
That makes no sense. I mean, that
makes
feels
no
like a
sense.
really bad idea anyway. If from a business standpoint,
Yeah.
not just a gameplay standpoint, because obviously that's a stupid decision from a gameplay standpoint.
Because some of these missions are pretty complex. And sometimes you want to learn them solo first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like from a business standpoint though, like why don't you just let people download the assets and play the game on their natively on their own PC
Yeah.
instead of having to rent servers around the world
Yeah. For
to
solo.
run the game for solo players.
That's a good insight. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Because like let's say for example, you have let's call it 1 million people playing your game, right? That's probably high.
I think it's across all the consoles. That might not be terrible, but that's pretty good.
We'll use that number, right?
Sure.
Let's use that number. Okay, let's say out of that you have an even split of people playing 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3, 4 player, right?
Yeah.
And so that would give you, let's see, that would make it, what is that, 10? So you would have 100,000 people playing solo player,
Okay.
right? If you have 1 million people playing the game,
Sure.
right? I did that right?
You said an even split? Be 250,000 then, right? Between.
Well, no, because if you're playing a 4-player game,
Oh, okay.
that's 4 people in one game. So that's
Oh,
400,000
gotcha.
out of your million,
Yeah.
right?
Gotcha. Yep. Yeah, that makes sense.
And so then 300,000 out of playing 3-player games, 200,000 playing
Co-op.
co-op, and then 100,000 playing single player.
Sure.
I think I did that right.
That's fine. Yeah. For our.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's say you have 100,000 people playing single player, and let's say that they're all located, just for the sake of the argument, in the United States and in Europe. So I don't know how big their market is in Asia or whatever, right? But United States and Europe, like how much money does it cost to run a server for 100,000 people all the time,
Yeah.
right? Like obviously if it's 4-player, but even 4-player,
Even 4-player.
just let let the host run it on their computer.
Yeah. I imagine maybe they'd get issues that way as well. I don't know on that end, honestly.
But I mean, so I think of High Res, relatively a medium-sized game developer.
Yeah.
They're not one of the big boys, but they're like playing. They're trying to get up there, right? They have some relatively popular games.
Yeah.
Their servers, they pay oodles of money for their servers, and they lag all the time,
That's true, yeah.
and they crash all the time. And so it's like, if I'm gonna crash, if your game is going to crash, if your game is going to crash,
Let it be the play.
would you rather pay for the game to crash or let other people pay for your game to crash?
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, as a business, you want to have other people pay for it to crash, right? I don't want to buy a server space that's just going to go down.
Exactly.
Like that's such a bad business move.
That is definitely, I've seen probably the biggest complaint from Payday 3 is that alone is like you can't play single player effectively.
And also, this is another thing. What if the game company just, so let's say they thought Payday 2 was their last game.
servers, yeah.
What if they say we're done. We had a great run, 3 games that were all popular because that's what everyone says, even though their last game usually kills them. It's all our games were popular. It's like obviously not. Because if your games were all popular, you would be successful still. I hate marketers. That's one of the, I have to after this. Let me tell you about a gun company that just went under.
Sure.
But if you're going to put all of your gameplay online, how long are you going to pay for that server to be open?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's like you're going to pay for it for 10 years?
Yeah. How long is your game live service? What are you committing to?
Exactly. And if it's not non-live service,
Mhm.
then you are telling people like, hey, this game has a lifespan.
Right.
It's not like Pong, where you can literally go and plug in an Atari still,
Yeah.
and it'll run.
Still play Pong.
And you can still play Pong, or you can still play the Halo games
Huh?
and run them on your computer for other people to join.
Exactly.
Like the Master Chief Collection, you can run that on your own computer. When you have every single thing be online, I just think it takes away from.
I have to imagine.
Unless you have a game with microtransactions like Fortnite or something like that, where it's going to be, and it's not like a one-time game. It's a perpetual. Fortnite is a perpetual game.
Constant live service. Yep.
It's going to be that way forever, and they're making money off of it so they can keep it alive, right? Mm-hmm. As soon as it starts to die, they might shut it down, and then you know what? That's fine because at that point, the lifespan of that game has
reaches limited.
And maybe they make it downloadable so you can play solo or whatever. I don't know how you would play a battle royale solo.
It has a single player mode. Fortnite does.
It does?
Yeah, it's like a zombie survival thing.
Just play Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, exactly. Or COD zombies. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I agree. Honestly, it does seem dumb. Maybe we're unadvised, unintelligent,
uninformed,
that's the word.
misinformed,
Like
misinformed.
maybe it's more complicated than that from a developer standpoint. I don't know, but I don't know.
I don't know. I have a reasonable amount of experience in business.
Developers reach out to us. Let us know.
Yeah, if anyone is a game developer that listens to this somehow,
I'll hear you out.
come on the podcast and tell us why.
Yeah,
It'd be great.
Payday 3 wants to sponsor us. I'll
shill for Payday 3.
shill.
Delete this episode right now. No, I wouldn't delete the episode.
We'll cut this part out.
Maybe.
No, we'll just do another.
You were also saying that it's not like it's just turned into a shoot 'em game as well.
Call of Duty, just to shoot 'em up, pew pew. You've got sliding. Obviously, the combat is like faster paced. You're like, eh.
I hate fast-paced combat.
I know it's just so like ADD. It's like for Gen Z, they just can't focus on things. So you gotta have tons of stuff moving and motion blur and.
It's so dumb though because some of the most popular games, shooter games, are slower.
They're slow.
Like CS:GO,
slow.
Valorant, slow.
Tactical.
Rainbow Six Siege, slow.
Yeah, it's very slow.
So it's like,
but
then you got the COD
Call
like
of Duty,
and Fortnite like.
ADD, I can't focus. I gotta have more explosions. Which like Payday can have lots of explosions. It's fun. But
True.
anyway, like fast-paced gameplay. There's kill streaks. I didn't look into this one, but that's what my brother told me. I was like, "Are you like calling in an airstrike? That seems dumb. I'm just a random criminal robbing a bank." And then the as far as the experience game goes, usually before you would play a mission on a difficulty, and that had a set amount of experience and money that you earned from the mission. And then if you secured like bonus cash from the bank vault during the mission, you got bonus money and bonus experience afterwards.
Sure.
What if they just got rid of that? And instead you have the Call of Duty method of leveling up where you just do dinky little achievements like get 25 kills with this gun and then you get a certain amount of experience for that. And also eventually that's how you unlock your weapon mods. If you use a crappy gun and do all the dinky little achievements, then you unlock your weapon mods. So they changed the level up, the RPG mechanics, and the weapon customization and roped it into like a Call of Duty method. And it's bad. You don't get experience from missions. You have to complete little side quests to get experience. So why play on higher difficulties? Why challenge yourself if the reward is not there? Mind-blowing design choices from a team that made Payday 2 so good.
I wonder if they have a new team.
Yeah, it's the same company, but maybe it's just like a new team. New people working on it.
If they want, I feel like they could have done it. What they should have done. Again, if a developer wants to come on here and tell us why I'm wrong, I feel like this would have been a better way to do it. Is come out with, say, like do a press release saying, "Hey, we're coming out with Payday 3, but it's going to be 5 years from now, from today,
Sure.
right? But today we have Payday or Payday Mercenary or something like that." And you just release this game as not a payday game.
It's a beta test.
Well, no, not even as not even as a beta. Like release it as a full game, but don't call it like a.
Don't call it a sequel.
Don't call it a sequel. It's like it's payday, but we're actually mercenaries, and so that's why we have like the prestige system because we're just getting paid as like a mercenary, so we just fight.
Yeah,
right.
There you go.
You're not criminals in the sense of like
So
robbing a bank.
High-paced action. You could probably even just like remove the stealth elements from
Exactly.
the game.
It'd be a much easier game to develop. Put some different storyline and stuff in there. But if you wanted to make a shoot 'em game, just make Payday Mercenaries or whatever you want to call it, and tell people like, hey, this is a spin-off.
Yeah.
And like we're gonna make a really good game.
You'll hit a slightly different audience, but most of your main audience will accept that and be like, okay, we'll wait for the next sequel, like because this is the game that we like.
Yeah, and you know what? You're gonna have a big cross. Your Venn diagram is gonna be. You're also gonna increase your player pool because people who play Payday, we're gonna call it Payday Mercenaries.
It's good.
People who normally don't play a Payday style game
We'll play Mercenaries.
and then Payday 3 comes out. They're like, well, I really liked that one they came out with. I'm gonna see what this one's about. You just increased your player pool.
And you'll get enough people like me who are like, maybe I'll try out Payday Mercenaries.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then look at that. You've sold 2 games to a larger audience.
For double the profit.
Okay, let's say they're both $50.
Stonks.
So you had 1 million people buy your first game for $1 million or for $50 each. So you just made $50 million.
$50 million.
Well,
easy math.
minus you grossed $50 million, right? Okay. Well, how about this? How about you increase your player pool to 1.25 million, or let's just say 15%, 1.15 million.
But they're buying 2 games.
But now they're playing 2 games, and maybe let's just say you're a benevolent game creator,
$40.
and you sell them for $40 each.
There you
That's a 20% discount.
Mhm.
It's like, oh wow. So, heritage players like yourself would be like, they're selling this game for $40. I'm 100% buying that.
It's a discount. Sweet.
And everyone else is like, $40 is not that bad at all, right? It's like
a good
for
game.
a good,
Absolutely.
good game. Okay, so you've just sold 2.3 million copies of your game.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, 2.23 million copies of your game
Sure.
instead of 1 million copies of your game. At $40 a piece, which is we're gonna do the 2 million number because I don't want to do the which is $80 million instead of $50 million.
Math checks out to me. But yeah. But Steven, what about
And then you make the Mercenaries one online so that it does have a lifespan.
There you go. Say, oh, advertise. This one doesn't have a solo mode.
No, like you have maybe you put some like missions in there that like all of it'll be missions, but it's all co-op, right? Like 2 to 4 or 2 to 6 or however many players.
Mm-hmm.
And then the new one is you can host it natively on your computer.
Yeah, the new one is.
And then it doesn't have a lifespan.
It's
and then you do while you're waiting for Payday 3 to release, you have Payday Mercenary have 1 or 2 DLCs where it gives you some cool extra missions or something like that. They're like $3 or $5 a pop.
that
Nothing
helps
egregious.
Keep game companies running. DLC is important. I understand that.
And I think DLCs when done right are like really cool for like the player base.
And Payday 2 had some really good DLCs. They did it really right. On release, they were like $5 to $7, but you could usually catch them 6 months to a year later on sale, really cheap for like $1. So.
Yeah, well, once they own the assets, they don't go away.
Or
they're not perishable.
If the host bought one of the DLC missions, like the train heist, he could host that mission.
Yeah.
Everybody else could join. Like,
Yeah, because I played the train heist and I didn't buy any DLC for it.
Well, and then eventually, I think train heist was one of them. They just like
Meshed?
Yeah, they just made a lot of those in the base game, so anybody.
Maybe I bought the game when that happened then. But I mean, yeah, like seriously.
They've
And-
had
and-
good DLC. They've had good practices before.
And Payday 2 is an older game, but like when we it's not that bad though.
It's really
The gunplay is fantastic in it. Like, not like the best, but like not bad.
as far as the sheer variety from literally a cowboy like bow or a
Yeah.
repeater to like a minigun or a flamethrower.
I'm pretty sure one of the things I ran, I ran a Desert Eagle, a suppressed Desert Eagle, and a compound bow.
Yeah.
That's like my stealth loadout.
Dude, the customization was so fun. I had like a full Uzi with like the folding
Yeah.
stock that was like bright neon. I was like, this is my stealth mode. Put my Uzi in my pants.
Well, and also I think that the prestige systems work when you
Yeah.
are just in the shooter game,
yes.
but in like a stealth game where you're robbing banks, it has to be like I can just buy the gun and suppressor and the equipment to go on it
Need it.
with the money that I earned from robbing stuff.
And then there's certain skills that they have as well. You're like, okay, these are the stealth skills. You need these.
Yeah.
Like,
I think we just got to start a game company and just honestly just like let's start an investment fund
yes, invest in game companies.
and buy up game companies that make really good first and second versions of a game and then really freaking crappy third versions,
Yeah.
and then be like, hey, under new ownership we're making Payday 2.2
2.5.
and just say like, yeah, you're gonna make this game.
That's nice.
And then we'll run it like we just said, and we'll make Payday Mercenaries.
That's what happened to D&D third edition, 3.5, third and 3.5. Pathfinder. That's where Pathfinder came from.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know the stats. I would assume they're probably the second most popular role-playing game out there under D&D. But those were developers from Wizards of the Coast working on Dungeons and Dragons third edition, and when they were officially moving to fourth edition, they were like, that's terrible, this is bad, and fourth edition was regarded as bad. So they split off, made their own company, and made Pathfinder, which to this day is still effectively D&D 3.5 edition.
Really?
It's the same rules. They've added new classes and new mechanics, but it's basically third edition of D&D still. So they split off because they didn't like what their sequel was doing.
Interesting.
D&D 4th edition was weird. Nobody played it. 5th edition was good. Everybody plays 5th edition.
We play 5th
We play
edition.
5th, yeah. They're coming out with that's a whole other topic for another day, but they're coming out with
5.5.
it's basically 6th edition, but they're doing the Xbox route where they stopped counting, so now they're calling it D&D 1 D&D. It's 5.5, basically.
Hey, all game companies, whether you're video game or role playing or whatever the freak you are, how about you learn how to freaking count?
The Xbox 360, the Xbox One Series S. I don't know.
And the Xbox isn't the X?
The Series S and Series X were at the same time. I don't know.
What's the one that's like a?
That's the X. I think.
That's the X, yeah.
Yeah.
I was okay with 360 to 1.
That was a little weird, but yeah.
I mean,
Take
it's
it.
not like it's not like horrible.
Why is it 1? It's Xbox 3.
Yeah,
PlayStation, they got this one figured out.
they really do.
Yeah.
And kudos to Sony.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Kudos to them. You know what? If they come out with a PlayStation 6,
PlayStation 6.
I'm okay.
Cool.
You know what? And if at 10 they want to call it like PlayStation X for like Roman numerals,
yeah.
like I'm okay with that. But then PlayStation 11 needs to be 11.
Yeah.
You know,
Not 1, 2.
that's 12.
1. Yeah, you do 1 dash. Yeah. The second iteration.
If they went like X1, I'd be okay with that.
Oh, sure.
Like if they did like
Roman numerals.
yeah, just 10 1.
Yeah.
Like 10 2, 10 like
Yeah,
I'd be okay
there
with
might
that.
be ridiculous decades down the line where now we have Final Fantasy 16. It's the finalist of fantasies. 16 of them. But it's like,
Yeah, but you had
at
like
least
a,
they're counting. They're in order.
yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
This is true. It's like a Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
We're on like I think they have
10.
another one coming
No,
out.
8.
No.
9.
We're on Fast 10.
10.
This is
10
like-
X, because there was an X.
Well, but remember,
I thought there were 7.
there was also Tokyo Drift.
Oh, yeah, which was 2?
3.
3.
But I don't think they counted as 3 because there's also Fast and Furious 3.
Well, because they didn't know how many they were going to do, I think.
No, because it was 30 years ago when they started making these.
Yeah.
It was the freaking 90s when
That's-
they started making these.
That's why it was...
I'm pretty sure it was the 90s.
Yeah, I think so. That's
they-
why it was the first Final Fantasy. It was called Final Fantasy because the developer thought he was all out of money. He's like, this is it. This is my last game. I'm just going to pour my heart and soul and all of my money into this game.
And then it's a stupid success.
And then it sold really well. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean... Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think gaming companies are like, we need to make this like cool. It's like,
Oh, cool.
if you have something that works, like, why are you changing it like that?
Xbox One Series S. Nobody calls it.
They call it an Xbox.
They call it the new Xbox. Yeah.
What Xbox do you have? I have the new one. You don't say, well, I have the Xbox Series One S.
Or you say, I got the weird one. That's cheap.
Yeah, you have the one that says it looks like half a World Trade Center.
Look,
Oh, now I'm a horrible human being.
Too soon?
No, now I just want to paint. I want to get one of those and paint it
Oh.
like half a World Trade Center and put a plane on the top of it.
Dang. It's pretty good.
I think of stuff like that all the time where I'm like, that would be so funny. There was one that yeah, anyway.
What topic would you like to end it off with today? You want to talk about your AK?
I'm pissed at my AK.
Oh no.
Here, we'll have the drama.
Oh,
It's not
my
actually
goodness.
dramatic.
After our positive episode last week.
Yeah, so I previously had gotten it working like I had it running like a freaking sewing machine. Like it was running super well. And yesterday I got a compensator for it,
Yes.
which let me tell you, that thing, oh my gosh. I'm going to buy a comp for every single one of my guns.
Cool.
This thing, it is so nice.
Nice.
So nice. It literally makes it feel like a little bit of a spicy AR.
It increases the damage, right? That's what it does in video games.
Oh yeah. And reduces the muzzle flip. Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually does that one.
Oh yeah.
It does reduce muzzle climb, and
Mhm.
it reduces felt recoil significantly.
That's cool.
Like significantly.
Compensator. It's in the name.
It's really nice, and it was really like astonishingly cheap.
Oh, okay.
Like there are some compensators where they're like 150, 200 bucks,
They don't need to be if you.
but they don't, because this one was 25 bucks, and it's like, I mean,
Easy to install.
yes, if you're not stupid.
Oh, okay. There's a
Because
little
dumb me over here forgot that most AK muzzles are reverse threaded.
oh.
So I was sitting there.
They do things differently in the Eastern Hemisphere.
Well, I was sitting there for like a solid 30 minutes, cranking on my old muzzle device
No.
to try and get it off, because I was going lefty loosey, righty tighty. Well, in this situation, it's lefty tighty, righty loosey.
Those crazy Russians.
And so I was like sitting there. I literally had a pair of vice grips, and I was just like trying to turn this stupid
Loosen it.
to loosen it.
But you're actually
I was tightening it. And guess what happened when I turned it the other way?
It just came right.
Came right off.
That's so good.
Came right. It wasn't even like.
That's hilarious.
Didn't I literally like. I was like. I looked it up. I like YouTubed it, because I was like, okay, am I retarded? I mean, am I stupid or something like that? And so I was like looking, and then he's like, yeah, you just have to remember to turn it the opposite way. I was like, seriously?
Man.
So I did.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I got it past the point where I had tightened it already, I like broke it again, and I was like, tink, and it goes just finger tight, and I was like,
yeah.
seriously,
Man.
seriously.
So you installed it. You went out.
I went out this morning, which woke up early on a Saturday, because normally we film these at 9 a.m. on Saturday,
Yeah.
Saturday before they come out.
Yeah.
We're a week behind.
Okay.
But so I woke up at 5 this morning to go out shoot. I was gonna go zero the AK and you know,
Take it.
see test it with all the upgrades that I have on it.
Mhm.
And just wouldn't run this morning. The comp felt great. Comp felt fantastic. The red dot was super easy to zero.
Cool.
Not all the way, because I got frustrated. It's not all the way zero because I got frustrated with the stupid gun,
Yeah.
because it just would not run. It wouldn't strip rounds out of the magazine.
Dang.
It wouldn't when it did start to strip them, it would just like put them halfway into the chamber and then just get stuck.
Oh yeah, it just jams up on it.
And then it would try and cycle and then just like stovepipe. And I'm like, what the what did I do to this to make this so
Janky.
effed up? I have no clue. I have no clue what I could have done to it to make it so messed up.
Work in progress.
It still is.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know what I need to do, because like I think part of it might be I got a new mag for it, and I don't know if it likes the mag that I got. I still have the old ones.
Yeah.
But
Try that.
and it was running better out of the old, like the polymer ones that I have for it. But the metal, the steel stamped ones that I have, it was just not wanting to strip rounds out of
I
it.
feel your pain somewhat. Yesterday I was working on like my ice maker in the fridge and my 3D printer. Can't figure out. It's like I don't even know what to try at this point.
Yeah.
That just gets frustrating sometimes. Working on projects.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's did we have anything else on our
No, we're just about out of time, so 5 seconds left actually.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Alrighty. Well,
It's a good week.
it was a good week. It was a good episode.
Till next time.
Call it there.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of the 5G podcast. We hope you enjoyed.
As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content.
We're available on all social medias, as well as you can watch or listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Again, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next week.
Thanks.